Impeachment, I hadn't paid a bunch of attention to that, because you hear stuff all the time about the president. I mean, the Russian thing, that didn't take. It was over 2 years when they tried to make it take, and it didn't, and now they're on to something else. And when they're done with this, there'll be something else again. The whole concept here is to get rid of the president and at least discredit him so badly that he won't be able to win in 2020. And if he doesn't win in 2020, the country will go backwards. It'll be a terrible thing. He needs the next 4 years to really, really get the job done. He's made great traction, but he spends most of his time fighting with the other people, right? And next term, he won't have to do that. He can actually work. I mean, who works anymore in Washington, D.C.? Not very many people. They certainly don't work for the people, these elected people that I'm talking about. Impeachment is really interesting, isn't it? You have a situation where there's a whistleblower. Who is he? What's he saying? Where's the evidence? None of that exists. Or if it does, they certainly won't tell you. So you're having a hearing, but nobody will confront you, or you can't confront him because you don't know who he or she is. Wow, this is like an anonymous letter to the editor. What does it say? Doesn't somebody have to be in charge with this? It's on and goes on. And President Trump, God bless you, because I tell you, I feel for you. It must be hard in your brain every day you wake up and you're being attacked yet again by people who don't have any evidence. You see it in business, you see it in a lot of different places, but in a high office like this, it's really, really unfortunate. Now, here's another situation, still in the United States of America. You got a guy, he's kind of like a whistleblower, except he had evidence, and I'm talking about Jeffrey Epstein, right? Apparently he had evidence. He was real. He was alive. He was in jail. He was under special guard. He was killed. Did he kill himself? That might be kind of tough, but everybody said, the press, the left-wing press says he did that. Now, today, 2 prison guards, they were on duty that night when he was killed. They've now been charged, obstruction of justice, and a whole bunch of other things, making false records, conspiring to make false records, and on goes a long list here. I think it's just the beginning. They're going to have to do a lot of drilling down to find out what really happened. And what page will that be on in the New York Times? 1721, because page 1 up to that will be about the impeachment. Stuff that has no nothing. It's just craziness. And the country is operating like this, and so many people are buying into it, because I will tell you one thing about a lie. If you say it often enough, over and over and over and over again, it becomes the truth, really, because people start to buy into it. And that's what they're trying to do with Trump, and they've had 3 years so far, and it hasn't really taken, and they're continuing on. Alberta, Canada, 75% of all Albertans say, hey, we've been treated unfairly. It's unclear what the percentage of those people are that actually want to separate, but it's in the news all of the time. And if you're ever going to separate, take the kids. But you know what? It's tough. I mean, what do you do? I mean, so many of the people are saying, let's talk to the federal government about separation. Really? You want to go to them or form a party or go to them and say, I want to separate now. Are you good with that? Is it treason? Kind of, sort of, maybe. But you know what? You're not supposed to get divorced either, particularly if you're Catholic. But if you hate the girl, blah, 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 you probably should. You'd have a happier ending. So if you're going to do it, just go bloody do it. I mean, minority governments, this is the flip side to that. The average is 479 days of survival, right? But in this case, the prime mistake, he's kind of on the same page with the NDP and all the other commie guys. I think he'll stick there to the bitter end because he wants to stay in power, and whatever they want. You want a pink elephant for your birthday? I'll give it to you, as long as I can still be the prime mistake. So you know what? Separation, I think, is kind of a cool thing, and I think it should be looked at very seriously, but in a different way. You can't do what you think you're going to do, like Quebec people. I think they had 3 referendums, certainly 2, and they might have a 4th or the 3rd someday too, because they keep on asking the same question until they get the answer they want. But I think the government blessed that. I don't know. But there's a way to do it. I'll share that with you someday. In Edmonton, just the other day, the government fired the province's election commissioner because he's been investigating the party for some time. He's levied fines in excess of $250,000, apparently, more or less, and he's a destructionist, right? And he was appointed by the NDP, that's code for communist, and they got rid of him. I said you should have fired him the very first day, but for some reason they hung on this long, and that's a mystery, and now the left is crying, and good luck. Keep crying, you left-wing commie guys. In Toronto, last thing of the day. Indian authorities have cooperated with the authorities in Canada, and they've shut down this call center. They're duping people with their accents. How do they do that? I guess it's because you expect it, right? I mean, I remember not long ago, I contacted Telus and I contacted Capital One credit card and I said, what's wrong with you people? I want to talk to somebody. I dial the number and I end up in India talking to somebody who can't speak my language. Aren't there Canadians who need to work? Get over yourself. Blah, blah, y'all come back here tomorrow. You can expand on that, I'm sure, in that last comment. But y'all come back and we'll have some more right-wing talk for you. See ya.